Welcome back to SnowRunner, y'all, and in this video, we're going to be checking out the GWC 2019 Spartan, which is a console-friendly mod based on a Jeep Gladiator. Now, a couple interesting things about this mod. One, it was recently released on mod.io, and so it may or may not be on your console just yet, as it may not have been approved yet, so check your respective console mod browser for this particular mod to make sure it is there, but it does have console files, it is unbranded, and fully console-friendly. Next, I did want to address something that I saw in one of my live streams the other day, where I was talking about how this is a console mod, and even though it hasn't been approved yet, it is a console mod because it's console friendly and it has all of the files, and someone in the stream chat kept going on and on about how, no, that's, you can't call that a console mod, it's not on console yet. And here's the thing. This mod, along with so many other console mods, even before they make it to console, they are designed and built and designated as console mods by way of the files that they have uploaded to mod.io, thus for basically making this a console mod. Now, again, obviously mods need to go through like a round or so of testing before they get approved, but if it's completely unbranded and has the right console files, it is a console mod. It just needs to make its way through testing and then actually make its way onto your console mod browser. So with that out of the way, I just wanted to kind of clear that up a little bit because I saw a little bit of a back and forth about that in the stream the other day. But let's go ahead and get into the customization of this thing. Now, we are out on the TNB Trails map today, and this is actually a really good choice for a map like this if you're looking for some like realistic trail riding, rock crawling, things like that. So we're going to do the Supercharged V8, and then we're also going to do the 4-speed off-road box since we're on a crawler-based map. Then we're going to do the 6-inch lift, which has a ton of flex to it. It's actually an extremely flexible suspension. Now, in terms of tires, we're going to go with a 39. 39 is going to be your maximum tire size on this thing. And let's see what we want to go with. We're probably going to go with the MT Pros. They're basically a Mickey Thompson Baja Pro. But the Boggers are also a really good choice. I mean, you really can't go wrong with any of these tire options. They all look really, really good. But, I mean, really, it's up to your own choice at that point. So we're going to throw the Overland rack on this thing, which goes with comes with, a bed rack, a tent, straps, a roof rack, lights up top. It's a really well put together Overland setup. Now, I'm not going to put the steel bumper on the back because it does add quite a bit of weight back there. We will do the stubby front bumper, though, and the LED light bar I would like to do, but the problem is it gets rid of the Overland rack, so we're not going to do it. And then in terms of wheels, we have a pretty standard selection for a Glitchworks vehicle, and I think for this build, we're going to stick with the GWC mode, because I really like those. I like those a lot. Now, we're going to probably go with a nice orange on this thing. I like the way the bright orange looks. I've always liked the way orange looks on a Jeep Gladiator. I don't know what it is about the orange. It just seems like it works really well with the vehicle. So before we get out onto any trails, we're going to do a quick little flex test so we can see what this thing's got on the flex ramp. So let's get you turned around. And let's creep on up. Let me make sure that everything is good to go. Diff lock is always on, by the way, so no worries about whether or not you're in, low or auto or high. Oh, dude, that's amazing. Not only is that really, really good, but that's also really, really realistic. Like, that's very similar to the type of flex you would get out of like a real world Jeep Gladiator with a really nice high-end long arm lift kit, you know what I mean? Or not even like a long arm lift kit, just like a long arm suspension setup. It's kind of, in my opinion, you kind of make your way past the just lift kit level and you get into, full-on suspension setup level, because at that point, to me, it's more than just a lift kit. But that's, I feel like I'm just kind of arguing terminology at that point, so it's like, it's really not that big of a deal. But it's something that, it's like a differentiation that my mind likes to make between like full-on suspension kit and just a standard lift kit. Now, in terms of like going down a road like this at speed, you can see very clearly that it does a really good job of soaking up the bumps. Not only does it do a really good job of soaking up the bumps, you can tell it's really comfortable just going along at speed. Like, there's no weird hiccups in the suspension. There's no weird moments where you're like, oh, it didn't like this, or it didn't like this, or that seemed like it threw it off, or this seemed like it threw it off. There's nothing like that in this thing, and it actually makes for a really pleasant, enjoyable driving experience, and it makes for a driving experience that can be used in a, you know, a vanilla campaign map, you know, or on a mod map, or in an RP scenario. There's really no situations, at least from what I've seen yet, that make this thing feel out of its element or uncomfortable. Now, if you were to put it in like or on a course that's like specifically dedicated for Top Truck Challenge vehicles or rock bouncer buggies, then yeah, it might feel a little bit out of its element or a little bit uncomfortable. But if you use it within the scope of what it was designed for, this thing remains an extremely comfortable vehicle to drive. Now, there's a trail coming up on the left that we're definitely going to be taking, and it's not a trail that we take very often in vehicle tests, so I'm really curious to see what happens. Now, what we're actually going to do here is, whoa, I did not realize it went down that far. That's like, holy crap, that's actually really steep. I'm surprised we stayed upright. I'm proud of this, of this little Jeep. That's respectable, like super respectable. Now, this side trail kind of breaks off of the main road and goes down to a camping / parking area down by this lake. But the interesting thing is, to get down here, you can see that some of the sections of trail are extremely off camber, and if you're looking to test the center of gravity and the weight balance of a vehicle, there's no better area than to do that. Oh, that's such a realistic situation right there. You have like a rock on either side and a off-camber dip in the middle. That's such a realistic section of trail. You forget sometimes, or at least I forget sometimes, how realistic a lot of these trail sections are and how real-world inspired they are until you really, like, kind of slow down a little bit and take a closer look at a lot of the details. And I think there's definitely something to be said for approaching a map like TNB Trails from a really relaxed, chilled out way, especially if you really want to get a better view at all those little intricate details. I say that as I'm like bombing down this trail, but I really want to get to this particular crawling section because I really want to put this thing to the test. All right, let me ease off just a little bit here because this is where things get interesting. And when I say this is where things get interesting, this is where things get gnarly. This is where we're either gonna have a really good time or we're gonna flip it over. So, but you know what? That helps make it exciting, right? Oh, okay. I'm gonna use a mulligan for that because that was not supposed to happen. I was not supposed to slide off that easily. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and just like say that was that was not supposed to happen. We're gonna cruise on from there. God, the suspension flex feels so real. It feels so, when I say real, it feels authentic. Like, authentic is probably the best way I can describe the way this suspension behavior feels, because it genuinely looks like the way an actual modified Jeep would flex and perform off-road. Like, it's very flexible, it's got a lot of travel, but it's also a little, like, roly-poly. It's not like, you know, it's not like set up like a trophy truck. It's not super high speed. It's not like gonna have the, oh, no. Okay, little ninja winch for that one. But yeah, like, all of the inputs kind of happen in this, like, almost slow motion sort of space, and it is very, it's very interesting the way it feels. It's very, you have to drive it yourselves and see what I'm talking about, because if you're looking for something that gives you that authentic real-world trail riding feel or overlanding feel, this is definitely gonna be one of those vehicles. And, you know, if you wanted to recreate, like, say, for example, one of the videos by A Story Till Now in SnowRunner, this would be one of the best ways to do it, because you're gonna get that realistic Gladiator performance. Oh boy. Come on. There's an absolute challenge to it as well, and that really amps up the enjoyment factor for sure. Like, there are little details that you're always having to think about, and when you're always having to think about those little details, dude, it enhances the experience so much, in my opinion. Let's see, can we make it through here on their first try? Yeah. Wow! Most vehicles don't do that. I know that looked really easy, but I'm here to tell you, like, from all the times I've attempted this trail, most vehicles do not make it look that easy. They really do not. They do not in any way, shape, or form make that section look that easy, and the fact that this thing made that section look that easy, mad props. Absolute, like, mad props to this thing. And mad props to Glitch on the way he tuned it. This part you have to just, like, turn the wheel hard and just keep the pedal floored and get the Jeep rotated, because if you don't get the Jeep rotated, you are gonna flip it over. So that part is kind of like time sensitive. Oh, come on. This part's weird because you really got to try to not get high centered. Yep, rotate the Jeep around. God, this thing is so like it's so direct, and it's like what you think in your mind it's going to do is basically what it does every single time you ask it to do it. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time.